All right, we are officially live on the live stream with the Provident Preppers. We have Kylene and John. These are awesome preppers. If you're not already familiar with the Provident Preppers, make sure you click the link in the description box below. They have awesome videos on all sorts of things prepping related, and they specialize in family-friendly, common sense preparedness. So I have a link to their YouTube channel, which you see over here, just a ton of videos. And this is one of the few prepper families, I think, out there on YouTube that it's really a family channel. The kids are doing videos. Sam, Christy, Kenny, and Ben are all involved in all the videos, as you see here. They also have a website that you could go to, theprovidentprepper.org. You could also pick up their book, The Provident Prepper, which is a common sense guide to preparing for emergencies. And then you could also check them out on Instagram and on Facebook. They're all over the place. But without further ado, please welcome the Provident Preppers to the live stream.
Hey guys!
Thank you so much for having us.
I loved your intro clip. That was awesome.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I always have fun putting those together. So I started doing those because, like, at the beginning of the live streams, oftentimes I'd press live and then I'd be, hey, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? And so now I just have a little video presentation that goes to give the audience a better idea of the guests that they're going to be seeing. So
well done.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. And it looks like the preparedness guy is here. Okay, I'm here. We can start. Okay, we got the message, the preparedness guy, and we're ready to go. So, so we've talked a few times on the live stream in the past on the gardening roundtables, which have been a blast for me. And I learned a whole bunch during those, and I'm super excited about, like, this is going to be my year 2 of, like, really trying to go with the garden. I had some pros and cons with my home garden over here, where I had some stuff that was successful and others that were horrible, but I learned a lot from you. But there's so many different things that you guys talk about with regard to preparedness. So we figured we should talk about more things besides just the gardening. So
sounds great.
Cool. This is and looks like everyone's saying hi. This is welcome, Nisi Tribe. Welcome, Michael. What's up, Prepper fam? Yep. This is a family of preppers, which I was hoping we could talk a little bit more in this particular live stream. I thought it'd be fun to talk a little bit about maybe your backstory on how you got into preparedness and how you decided to you put all the stuff out there on YouTube with more like the whole family involved in it. So maybe just like a basic introduction from you guys' background.
Cool. Yeah. And it kind of all started with me. I was a young father trying to just do the best I could. I have 3 kids, trying to raise them. And one morning I just had this feeling that I couldn't shake. A feeling that I wasn't doing enough to take care of them in the event that something happened, some kind of a crisis. And at that point in time, I didn't really know how to define that. I mean, we live in earthquake country and, you hear about this and that, but I just had this unshakable feeling that I needed to do something more. I needed to prepare to take care of my family. And so that started, of course, the first thing you think about is, okay, well, we better have some food.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a step-by-step process where, we really need water because we need water more than we need food. And then the next step is kind of, I've got some food, but how am I going to cook it if we don't have any way to, if the electricity's down, the natural gas is gone, how am I going to cook this? And so it became this step-by-step process of just trying to figure out, how do I take care of my family? And it was all born out of love. It was born out of love, not fear, but love that, I need to take care of my family, and I really want to do that. And then Kylene joined the picture, and she had done a little bit of prepping, but I'll let her tell the rest of that story.
Okay, because he wouldn't tell it right? So when we got married, he had 3 children that he had custody of, and I had 4. And so we had 7 teenagers when we got married. It was crazy. But about 2 or 3 months after we were married, he said one night, he's like, Kylene, there's this class of people that I like to go and visit with. And he was just like, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what do I not know about this man? And it was actually the Utah Civil Defense Volunteers, and they meet up in Salt Lake, once a month. And these are some pretty hardcore preppers. These are bomb shelter kind of preppers.
Oh, wow.
And and so he was really worried that I might be a little bit taken back by it. But they are the best people ever. Like really, they were so much fun. And it just progressed to where we just really started learning more about preparedness, and we found so much misinformation out there. I think that's the thing that really got me involved, was that the information out there, it's from people who just are, it's theory, right? and they're not living it. And so they really don't know what they're doing. And then they're teaching other people to do that. And that worried me because I don't want anybody to get hurt. And so then we became, we joined TACTA, and we ended up on the board of directors, and I edited for the Journal of Civil Defense for 7 years. And that was so much fun to rub shoulders with these amazing people, right? These people who really are experts in their field, and just to learn so much. But I think, like Jonathan was saying, it took us down a path that we saw people needed to be educated in a really good, healthy way. But now we're able to take care of our family better. We're really not afraid of something happening, because no matter what it is, we'll be okay. And it's not just because of the stuff we have, it's because of what we know, right?
And relationships.
And relationships. Oh yeah, relationships.
Yeah, we've built relationships, and we're very community minded. We want to involve our neighbors and our friends, and we build these groups of people that will help each other no matter what happens. We're all on the same team, and we all have different skills and abilities, but we're all on the same team, and we're all there to help each other, regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's awesome that, sorry, there's a little bit of echo, but with your particular channel, it seems like with other YouTube channels, sometimes like one of the spouses seems to be the one that's really into it, and the other one's kind of along for the ride a little bit. But with you, it definitely seems to be a total family effort on it. When did your kid just naturally start getting involved in the preparedness measures that you were taking into place as a family, or did that just kind of?
They had no choice.
Yeah.
It's like, tonight is the night when we're packaging food storage, and whether you're 18 months old or you're 16, you are going to participate in this, just because that's what we do as a family, right?
Yeah.
And the way that I cook most things from scratch. And so that's just our lifestyle as a family. So I don't think that they ever thought it was strange or abnormal, unless they're friends. Like, their friends would come over and they'd talk about us having Walmart downstairs. That was pretty cool, because back when we had the 7 teenagers, my son would bring home the basketball team, and they would go down to the food storage room and clean me out of Doritos and Oreos and anything like that. So now we don't stock so much of that kind of stuff.
That's funny.
What we have involved the kids right from the start, and we don't hold anything back from them. If something's scary that's happening in our world or in our country, we talk about it, and it's a very open discussion about, okay, this is what's happening. How will we handle this? We play the what if game. What if this happens, and what if this happens? And it totally empowers these kids to just understand that, what, we've got a plan, and we've got a way of working things out, and we're building a future that's where we can help not only ourselves, but help others. And we take a lot of joy in, being part of a community that we're helping each other.
And he says we don't hold anything back, but that is not correct. So it's age appropriate, right? You tell a 4-year-old different things than you share with your 16-year-old.
Yeah,
right. Definitely.
And
definitely.
So, yeah. But it's funny how the little ones are concrete thinkers. If they see it, smell it, touch it, taste it, that's what they hold on to. So no matter what the problem is, when you have the little ones, their answer is, oh, we'll be okay because we have our food storage. But it may have nothing to do with food storage. But because that's concrete, these little guys, it gives them great peace and security.
Yeah. I was just looking over through the channel earlier today and this past week, and some of the videos, there are ones where you as a couple are doing things, some where you're individually doing it, and some that the kids are doing. I was curious, how do you guys plan out like your the videos that you're going to be producing? And then I had a follow-up question too with regard to, is there any method between the color system that you're using on the thumbnails? Does that indicate certain type of videos? So those are the 2 questions I had.
Yeah. So the colors on the thumbnails, we have this chart, and so certain things go with certain ones. And Jonathan came up with a color scheme, but most things are gold because the gold standard is what he came up with, and so a lot of our videos are on the gold. So yeah, there is a rhyme or reason to it, but
so there's gold, red, and like a bluish color.
And there's blue. And hold on, I'll tell you what it is, because I always have to look it up before I do it. But the standard is.
I knew it meant something.
Blue is communication, cooking, heating, lighting, and fuel. Gold is food storage, home production, medical, root cellars, sanitation, security, and water. And red is disaster psychology, evacuation, family emergency plan, preparedness, and a reference library.
Oh, you have an orange too, it looks like.
Oh, the orange was a new one we just did for little kids. So anytime we do something like that one's a story for little kids. For the little preppers, we came up with that one not that long ago.
Yeah.
Awesome. So and the other question, I guess, was how do you guys plan out all of these? Because you guys have competing people now on the channel. You have the kids doing videos, yourselves doing videos. Is there some kind of schedule that, is this part of their allowance or chores?
Yeah, I'm the boss. Okay, quite frankly, you want to know the truth? The days that I don't want to shower, he has to be in front of the camera.
It's just how it works.
I'm like, no, you're doing this.
She calls most of the shots, but we try and look out there. We try and see kind of what people need, what people
we're answering
want.
Questions.
We've got all these inquiries that come into us, and we try and fit a lot of those to okay, we're getting a lot of inquiries on this topic, so let's address that in a video. Let's make a full-blown video and a post, and let's answer these questions. And so a lot of it is based on the responses that we're getting back.
Yeah. And things that just I want to do, or
the color scheme, so it's right up my alley. I love that you have color-coded thumbnails. I think that's awesome. So someone has.
But I have to tell you, one of the other things that determines who's behind the camera is that I have MS, and so some days I am retarded, and I can't really be in front of the camera. I can still be behind it, but we don't want the whole audience thinking I'm drunk, and that's what it looks like, or that my speech is slurred or whatever. And so it's just one way that we deal with my handicap.
We just roll with things.
Yeah. Well, what you're doing is awesome, and I think all the people in the chat room seem to enjoy it too. But I didn't know about that little tidbit behind it. Some people were commenting about the binder. I think I was looking away when you have a prepping binder planning. Is that Kylene? Did you have that nearby?
This is our website. So we're members of Income School, and that's it's how we learn. But this is like the stuff for the website. Oh, I have so many binders. That's how I organize things. Is in binders. They make me very happy.
I love it. I like binders too, and I like prepping is such a vast topic that it's easy to get out of control really quickly if you're not organized and don't have some kind of system to play for it. So looks like someone, Ninja Squirrel, saying I was diagnosed with MS as well in 2015. The Prepper Nerd. I love the Provident Prepper.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, they said MS isn't retarded. Don't call yourself names. Okay.
I tell her that myself. So.
And you know what I say, look, I'm the one. I can call myself whatever I want.
Yeah.
But my kids tease me all the time because we don't drink alcohol in our home, right? That's not something that we do. And so they're all teasing that they have to be careful about their friends seeing their mom when she's drunk because it's just MS, right? It's just the way that the disease works.
Wow. Can we talk a little bit about the book? We haven't talked about that before in any of the other videos that we've done together. And everyone, I have the link in the description box. It's an Amazon link. Just go over there and click it. They have the Kindle one. Is the Kindle really $0 for unlimited? But
it is, but you have to buy Kindle Unlimited.
Okay, well, everyone buy the paper book. It's you just go ahead and click it. It's $14. So nowadays that's the cost of a couple lattes over at Starbucks. And so can we talk a little bit about what's covered in the book, and when did you write the book versus how deep into preparedness were you at that point, and then you decided you're going to write the book on it? So.
Oh, we were pretty deep.
We've been pretty deep for a lot of years.
Pretty deep.
But we had our publisher came to us and said, we're looking for a book on this topic, and we want you to write it. And so I'll let her tell the rest of that story. But they came to us and said, we like your stuff. We like what we're seeing. Write a book. And
look at the great reviews. It's 4.6 stars out of 5 with almost all 5 stars, it looks like.
It's because people are so kind to us.
That's awesome.
Okay, so the book has just about everything that you need to know about emergency preparedness if you are beginning or kind of in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. If you're a hardcore prepper and you want to build your bomb shelter, this isn't the book for you. One of the best compliments that I ever received on this book was from a lady in one of a class we were teaching at an expo, and she stood up in the back and said, I bought the book on impulse at Walmart, and this is the first time I ever felt like I could be prepared.
Wow.
And so that is what we wanted to do with it, was help just normal people be ready for the craziness that we have going on.
Right, because it can be overwhelming, and that's why a lot of people don't even get started, because it's just too big for them. It's too overwhelming. And the purpose of our book was to break it down in, eating the elephant a bite at a time. Break it down in little pieces so that you can say, okay, I can handle this. I can get my head around this piece of it, and we'll make progress. And there's action plans, not in the book, but on our website.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
And there's action plans on our website so that it furthers that ability to kind of look at a piece at a time and make progress on it. And you can print those out. It's not an exacting list. We don't believe in exacting lists because everybody's situation is a little different, and everybody needs, has some different things that they need to do. But it gets you started. It gets you started building a list, your own list and your own plan, so that you can take care of your family a piece at a time. And you can go as fast or as slow as you can, but it's there to help break it down so that you can do it.
Yeah, and those action plans are available on our website, free for anybody, right? So back in February and then in November for Thanksgiving, we just did free Kindle version giveaways where you could buy the book. You don't have to have Kindle Unlimited or whatever, and it was absolutely free. Our hope is that we'll be able to do that every 7 months or so that anybody who can't afford it can still prepare, because we recognize there's so many people trying to prep who don't have a lot of resources. And we don't want that to stop anybody.
Well, so I really love how I'm seeing various chats in the chat room. People really like the practical preparedness that you're bringing to it. This is from the Titan Preparedness channel. A lot of people don't want to fall into the crazy prepper status. The book and the channel definitely helps prevent that, which I totally agree. I really like that you normalize prepping, and which is a cool thing. It's not. I think mainstream, probably even after this past year, I think they still probably consider a lot of this preppers little crazy. But this is all very practical stuff that everyone should really be doing. Everyone should have some kind of awareness on that, which I really love. I don't see any destruction and fire and hazmat suits and underground bunkers or anything like that. It's very practical, family friendly.
Self-reliance, right? Self-reliance. And don't get me wrong, because I think that there are definitely some cases when you would want to build a fallout shelter, right? I do, and we have toured several, and they are way exciting. They're way out of our budget. I
want to get one too.
But
But you start where you are, and then you do what you can do, and you do the best that you can do, and it just I think people will find if they do what they can do, they get led step by step to the next thing that they need to do, and they can accomplish it.
Have you had a lot of people over this past year come to you as they know that you're preppers and that you're into self-reliance and asking what do I want to start? Maybe they were caught off guard with the stuff that's gone on this past year with everything. What are the things that you would recommend to people that are coming to you for the first time that are just wanting to get into this now as a family?
So this has happened to us so many times, and we just started a new series called Newbie Prepper. That's the one we just published, number 5 today, right?
Yeah, I saw that one.
And the whole thing is just taking somebody who doesn't know anything about prepping and walking them through the process. And so I think the very most important thing that you can do is to do your risk evaluation and really start there, because your risks, Cliff, are probably different than ours, right? Because of the place where we live, or maybe the resources that we have. We live on 1.5 acres, so we're able to produce a lot of our own food, which is a huge, wonderful blessing for our family. And then the next step usually is water. And I have a friend named Beth who actually writes for our site. She is incredible. Wow. And she had talked to me and she said, I don't understand why you preach water so much. Why are you so hung up on water? But she lives in the land of many lakes, right? And she has a river in her backyard. We live in the desert. So doing that risk evaluation really helps you to kind of see where you need to place your resources. And then food is so incredibly valuable. Talking about the very best investment that you can make is to build your food storage, and you don't have to go to a company. It would be nice to be able to lay down a few $1,000s and just have it all delivered to your door. But I don't have that kind of a budget, so we package our own, right? But we have enough food to take care of our family because we've worked at it. We worked at it some more today.
Yeah. And I know a lot of preppers nowadays, they're looking at food as a form of currency almost, where it holds its value more than some other forms of currency, it seems like.
Yes, it does.
There's a lot of currency out there that you can't eat.
Yeah.
And doesn't do you
down
good.
to it. But one of the things I wanted to emphasize is that, sometimes people think, if I can't do the whole thing, I just won't do it because, and I'm that way a lot. If I can't do the full blown, then forget it. But we all have to learn how to just take little steps, do what we can do at the moment, and then build.
So a lot in the news lately, they've been talking about this. People are getting a stimulus check for let's say it's $600. I know they've been talking different amount of money. With $600, right. If they came, hey, I want to spend this on prepping, and the Provident Preppers, help me spend this on prepping. Would you have them then focus solely on food and water, or would you try to diversify it further?
Oh, it all depends on what they have already, right, and where they are.
Yeah, let's say in your region.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Because I would want to make sure that everybody has some type of a rechargeable solar flashlight, right? I mean, that's just, you need something like that. And so there's some basics like that where I wouldn't spend it all on food. If you don't have a way to cook, thanks, Bill. If you don't have a way to cook your food, maybe you need to spend some of that money on a way to be able to cook it. And if you need, like if you have some medical needs, perhaps you're on a CPAP machine at night. Well, then maybe suddenly backup electricity is really important for you. And it's just, you need to tell me your circumstance, and I say, okay, this is where we start. Yeah. But definitely food is incredibly critical, and water. I too would have your basic meds. Make sure that if you're on prescription meds, wow, you need to really stock up a little bit as you can. But just some of those over-the-counter things. Think about like pain relievers and antihistamines and different things that don't cost very much, but could sure make you a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, that's one of the harder ones as far as my preps, because we're pretty good on the over-the-counter medications, but because I take prescription medication for my heart, because I don't know if I've talked with you, I had chemotherapy back when I was 20 years old, and so because of that, it gave me a congestive heart failure, so I have to take medications for that. And so if that were to run out of that supply, then I'm in a little bit of a pickle. So I've had to work with my doctor to try to get 90-day prescriptions, and then sometimes even paying out of pocket instead of through the insurance company. But that's definitely one that anyone that's taking prescription medications should try to work with your doctor to see how you could get a little bit of a nest egg built up. Because
and you make a really great point there. Sometimes we just have to brainstorm this a little bit. We just have to think outside the box. We have to, because there are a lot of doctors that will work with you. Yeah. Some won't, but a lot of them will. If you explain what the purpose is and you have a relationship with them, they'll help you out. And you do have to find some ways to solve some problems sometimes. But it happens. It just happens.
I talked with my doctor a little bit about it, and then I eventually found out that he was kind of a closet prepper, so it ended up working okay.
It surprises you, huh? And my doctor, the last time when I had an appointment, I had an online appointment with her about 2 weeks ago, and we talked about most of the medication is made in China. That's just part of the reality of it, right? So I talked to her and said, okay, if this medication that I have to take every day, if I can't get any more, how do I wean myself off the safest way possible? And so we came up with a plan of, okay, if you can't get any more, this is how you do it and limit, the effect that it has on you. And even those conversations, I think, are really important to have, to come up with that plan. And she's been so fabulous, actually, to work with me. She's been amazing.
That's awesome. I see a couple of specific questions coming in here as well. This one's from Prepper Nerd. Hope this question is okay, Tup. I'm curious if Provident recommends any prep inventory software or app. I've built one and I'm offering to the community, but curious if you know of others that you like. That's the question for Prepper Nerd.
Oh, Prepper Nerd. I would love to see that. Jonathan is a spreadsheet geek. Like seriously, if there is a way to turn a problem into a spreadsheet, he does it.
Yep.
And so personally, we do the spreadsheet thing because that's what he likes to do. And I've seen several different programs out there, but I haven't used them personally. But Prepper Nerd, we would love to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I want to hear about it more too, Prepper Nerd. So, and for everyone, if you're just tuning in now, we're live right now with the Provident Preppers. Make sure you go to their YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is right up here. We were just taking a look at their this is the action plans that they have, and it's very practical, common sense preparedness that the whole family can follow. Make sure that you go to their YouTube channel, link in the description box, subscribe to their channel. They're going to have all sorts of family friendly. It's not the doom and gloom kind of stuff that a lot of we have a lot of. It's more of like family friendly. The whole family's involved in this. They talk a lot about food storage in addition to many, many other things. Go to their website, check out the action plans, go and pick up their book for less than $15. You can get a wealth of information on prepping, and then also on the Instagram. And if you're watching the rerun of this and it's the year 2024 or something, we'd like to welcome you to the end of 2020. And this is where we're at. We're talking with the Provident Preppers. I was curious a little bit. A lot of people are talking in general in the comment section. I see about various foods and stuff, and I know that you guys did recently. I think in the last year or so, you were living off of your survival food for a little bit to try it out to see how it went. Can you talk a little bit about that story?
3 months. Okay, I'm totally crazy because we're laying there in bed one night, and I said, because we believe that we have to live it in order to teach it, and we're teaching everybody they need this 3-month supply. Yeah. And I'm just laying there. I said, John, you know what? I think we shouldn't go to the store for 3 months. I think we need to prove that this can be done, right? Oh, it was hard. I mean, don't get me wrong, because we had plenty of food. We ran out of chocolate chips, right?
That was tragic.
Our Benjamin ended up going to a neighbor's house and milking their cow because he wanted the fresh milk, right? It was really interesting to see the things that we missed. And really surprising that we missed fast food so much because we don't think we go out to fast food, right? Yeah. But like that was our escape. When we want to go on a date, we just go get something to eat. We go to a restaurant and escape the kids. Yeah. There was no more of that, right?
Yeah, we shut off all of that. No store, no restaurants, nothing. It was living off our garden and our food storage, and it was enlightening.
And the community, remember how we always talk about community? Okay, the community was amazing. It didn't take long for them to find out that we had done this to our children, right? And suddenly, like, I had a friend who showed up at our door with bags of chocolate chips, and she said, I need to barter this for some kale. Who barters kale for chocolate?
Because that was one of the rules. We could barter, so nobody could donate stuff to us. We had to trade. Whatever. Yeah. If they get some. Now I question, the sanity of some of the trades, but that's okay.
But the amazing kindness and love, and I know they weren't in the same circumstances that we were, but just I kept thinking about how if this was really hard times, we have this amazing network built with people that we love, that we would sacrifice for, and in turn they would sacrifice for us, and it was just amazing to me. But let me tell you, that trip to Costco, and so the last day, or that
the restock trip,
the restock. It was like, we're all jumping up and down at Costco. Well, you didn't really care, but we're jumping up and down at Costco, and the kids get to buy 2 of their favorite treats, and we went to the smorgasbord. What was it? Golden Corral, so they could eat anything that they wanted. It was just kind of fun. But what we learned is that we can survive. We learned that we had made a lot of really good choices, and we found holes in our food storage, such as the chocolate. Yeah, I went out there and I bought a whole bunch more chocolate chips.
We seem to rotate through the chocolate really, really quickly for some reason.
How many bags of chocolate chips does the Provident Preppers need?
How much do we need? We don't know yet. Do you know one time chocolate chips were on sale for 50 cents a bag? It was the Nestle's chocolate chips. It was several years ago. And I bought 350 bags.
Wow.
And it did not last a year. But now, granted, we had 8 teenagers or 7 teenagers at that time, right? And their friends knew all about our basement. And so, yeah.
I don't know. What's the shelf life of chocolate chips? I'm not sure.
We've never been able to determine that.
Yeah, we're still under investigation. So
Yeah.
someone was asking, did you guys do a vlog on it, a blog or vlog? I want to read or see it.
Yes. So we created a weekly video on it. If you go to the providentprepper.org, there is a playlist about the 90-day no shopping challenge. And so so you're going to want to go to YouTube. There's 2 posts on it, one before we started and one after, but it's actually the playlist that is fun. You can see the grid
90-day no grocery shopping challenge.
And so there's 12 videos, or maybe there's 13. Anyway, from the very beginning where we started and we laid down the rules, and then weekly, and we show you like what we ate, what struggles we were having, like the girl's birthday occurred during this time, and we couldn't go to the store.
I put a link into the chat room for anyone that's wondering about that one. So a link to the playlist.
Yeah. It was very, very interesting. And then Thanksgiving a year ago, we did a 30-day grid down cooking challenge where for 30 days, including Thanksgiving dinner, we could not use any electricity or natural gas to cook our food.
Wow.
That was crazy. So we had all these people over for Thanksgiving dinner, and we're using a Bear River rocket stove in the backyard to cook our dinner, or to cook the turkey. It turned out really, really good. It was late, right? It's harder to time things like that, but we learned so much. We learned and calculated how much fuel we need for a month, right? Mm-hmm. What things work well, what things don't work well. It's different when you're, okay, I'm going to do this Saturday, I'm going to do an alternative cooking, versus every day, and you've got to have breakfast on the table for those kids, and you've got to have dinner on, and nothing is as fast. And it was a great challenge.
And we burned a few things.
Oh, we did.
Charcoal the cinnamon rolls, and that was my fault. But that's the learning that you do when you actually do this and do these challenges and live it. You find out what you don't know.
Yeah.
How much fuel did it take for you to prepare all these meals during the 90 days then?
Oh, there's a spreadsheet on that.
Spreadsheet, good.
There is a spreadsheet on that.
Awesome.
And it's on the video, and it's on
the video. Okay.
Yeah, it's on both places, so you can see that.
Okay, so I put a link in the chat room. I'll put it at the end. If you're watching the rerun again on this one in 2024, I'll put the link there in that one as well. So here's the playlist. It looks like it's probably at the bottom. Oh, let me see. I don't have it on the screen. There we go. Okay. There we go. Let's see. So at the very end of it, if you guys want to watch this 90-day challenge, this is an awesome challenge. I normally do. Oh, we have a bloopers as well. So,
oh,
the blooper reel. I want to watch that later. So. But cool. I'll put this all in the description box and watch it. That looks really awesome. So, yeah, I just
the blooper is actually really funny.
Yes, I loved it. We were just watching some of our old blooper video. I stopped doing them after a while because they took so long to put together, and I wasn't sure if people really liked watching them or not. But we really, as a family, we like rewatching those old blooper videos because the kids are a lot older now than what they were at the time that we filmed them, and it's really cool that we've been documenting a lot of things here on these videos here on YouTube, and then we're able to reference them back years later. It's pretty fun for the family. So
yeah, it is.
So 350 bags of chocolate chips is not enough for a year's supply, even if it costs 50 cents each. So that's one of the call outs from this one.
And I really did think we would figure out how long they really last, but they were gone before we could figure that out. So
that's amazing. Yeah, we don't have anywhere near that, so I think I'm gonna have to up my chocolate chip chicken.
Only if you want to barter with us, right?
Yeah.
And if you want, don't be liquor and cigarettes aren't going to help you. If you want to barter with us, you store chocolate.
Okay.
You got to know your bartering friends.
Over this past year, when like right when COVID hit, we were getting into gardening, so we stocked up on a lot of like potting soil, real nice soil. We got like 15 yards of it, and then no one else could order soil in the neighborhood because all those places weren't essential businesses or whatever. So we were doing a lot of bartering with neighbors where they wanted to come and bring up. We had a certain bartering system with certain neighbors where they could get a bucket of dirt for blueberries or for apples or something. And I thought it was good. I thought it was good practice. So.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy, like how the whole barter system just naturally works. We had some other friends that. They didn't have any toilet paper, but they had a lot of wine. And so their barter was, we'll trade you one bottle of wine for 4 rolls of toilet paper. And they figured you get 4 glasses of wine out of a bottle, so you get a roll of toilet paper for every glass of wine. That was their how they worked out. So a lot of great comments already coming in here. From Dina Martinez, because saved a lot of prep gifts. They love it, and they love your book. That's awesome. Thanks for getting the book. And Dina also loved the bloopers as well, which is really cool. Let's see, you must double the amount of 365 times 2 then. And people are saying you need chocolate, peanut butter chip too. Yes.
No, that would do it for him, but not for me. Got to be the real chocolate.
Yeah. Let's see. Do your spreadsheets for prepping include making a household budget to get spending and financing under control? Prepper budget. That's from Mark Chase.
He's the budget Nazi. Like, really, he's the budget Nazi. There's no worries about the budget being under control.
Yeah.
It's tough, but that's an important part of it. I mean, to be able to do these things, you have to, because we have a lot of priorities in life, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that we preach is this shouldn't take over your life. This is not your life. Prepping is not your life. It's a little slice of your life, because we have community things, we have school things and church things, and all these things that need to take our time. And so we have to put in a little slice of money and a little slice of time. And yes, being able to manage your finances is an important part of helping these things happen. And, the way that we eat and the way that we cook and the way that we shop allow us, I mean, she's an expert shopper.
Yeah.
And so, that
true.
really helps the budget to be able to make it all work.
So because we purchase things in bulk, right, and we're always living off of our food storage, I can feed so many people for very little. In fact, today we packaged a 50-pound bag of rice, right? I think it was 245 servings. I think that's what it was in the 50-pound bag of rice. So you think about that, and yet that bag of rice was only $25 or something. You can feed a lot of people very inexpensively if you shop right. And I am really good at watching sales and not buying the expensive foods, right? We have our fun neighbor we got the milk from. When they go to harvest their cow, we'll buy, half of a beef that's grass-fed and all this. And it's really inexpensive considering. So we just, we do our own eggs. We grow a lot of our own food. So it's easy for us to stay within a budget and be good preppers because we do the self-reliant route.
That's awesome. And yeah, I think my brother-in-law, is watching this live stream, and I think he gets a half of a cow a year, I think, from a local place where the cow had a name at one point and grass-fed. And do you have a special freezer then that you have for this?
We actually usually it fits in the freezer with our other stuff. But I made the mistake the other day of our friends had brought us some that couldn't fit in their freezer, and so it was Leonard. Right, their cow Leonard, and my kids knew Leonard, and my daughter's 18. I thought she was going to be okay, and I said something like, "I can't remember his name, but this sure tastes good." And somebody brought up Leonard. Oh,
she came.
Oh no!
Oh, that was really bad.
That was hard for her.
Really bad.
That was.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. When we were growing up, on my dad's side of the family, they're Puerto Rican, and they used to like teasing my grandma because they said, every once in a while she needs to kill an animal because she liked us having fresh turkey or goat or whatever it was, and so every once in a while there would be a pet turkey in the backyard for a few weeks, and we named it and we're friends with it, and then we would go missing, and we're eating some soup. And we call her Mama. Mama, where's whatever? They say Sammy. Where's Sammy at? Oh, you're eating him. that's what she told us about it. So, and then we were devastated.
I'm okay eating something that somebody else has killed, but quite frankly, the rabbits and the chickens that we have on our property are as safe as it gets because I can't do that, right? So we raise meat rabbits that never become meat.
Oh, yeah.
It's sad.
Looks like they're saying no names. Don't name the animals.
Or we name them. What was it? Ribeye and T-bone and
yeah.
That's
super funny. I was curious on how many chickens that you have. You mentioned there's chicken and rabbits. How many do the Provident Preppers have?
We have about 30.
Yeah.
30 chickens.
And some of them are at the end of their egg laying. They're they're needing to go find a different home.
Yeah.
Because they're safe here.
We try and replenish every year, just add a few to our flock.
Yeah, so we hatched out some of our own this spring. That was the first time we've ever done that. And that was a lot of fun. But then we also bought some from some local hardware stores because we just thought, like, with this year, we need to make sure that we've got a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
So, and the way that we raise them, they are all free range, right? And these chickens have such a happy life.
They have a really good life. They don't know it.
They're living the dream.
They have a really good life.
They don't express their gratitude.
Yeah, I think we were just talking with Rogue Preparedness a few weeks back, and then she names her egg chickens. They have names, but the meat chickens have no name. They're nameless. And then we started talking about milk chickens, which we're still, I think it's still a conspiracy theory at this point. But
we didn't have any of those.
Yeah, we don't. There's no more milk chickens. Hashtag milk chickens if you still, or if you want to. If you know that one. This is from Debbie Paints. All grow to eat animals here are named bacon, sausage. That's hilarious. Yeah, and it sounds like you have a similar naming scheme on yours then, so.
When we first started, we tried raising cattle one time. Didn't work really well for us. We decided that we spent so much money trying to feed those cows that it just wasn't worth it at all.
We just didn't have enough property to allow them to graze. And so, yeah.
One of the things
I still have a heart. Well, I have a heart. That's why I can't kill them.
Yeah, I think I'd have a hard time with that. We grew up with chickens, and they were just like pet chickens for eggs, I guess. And I've wanted to do it. My grandparents had them, and I wanted to do them here, but my wife is worried that I'm not going to clean up the chicken coop, and I'm going to forget about it, and it's going to become her problem. So,
okay. So, Cliff, you need to watch our video on that, on the food forest, because
let's go check it out.
It's an older one, so it's been there for a while, and it's
food forest.
Yeah, type in food forest, it'll come. Oh, there.
Survival
food forest.
There we go.
So on that one, it shows like our chicken coop and how we only have to clean it once a year. And this building that you see right behind us, that is actually where the chickens stay.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay, there. Oh, they have a mansion back there.
And then we have this huge fenced orchard behind it. And in that orchard, the chickens free range. So they control the bugs in the orchard. They keep down the weeds, so we don't have any issues with weeds or that kind of maintenance. And they are such happy chickens. And I only clean the coop once a year, just before winter comes. And it's just, I mean, I could probably get away with not doing it, but I just feel like at the beginning of winter, everybody needs clean bedding. So it's,
let me put this link in the chat room. There we go, everyone. If you're watching this in real time, there's the link right there in the chat room for this one. So I need to save that.
One thing that we have changed since this video is I had built some roll-out nest boxes, but we bought a best nest box.
Best nest, yeah.
And we love it. Like, it was $200. And that's a lot of money for us to spend, but I like it so much that when we built the next coop, so we have 2 separate flocks, we bought one right away and installed it because instead of the eggs being dirty and you have to hunt for them, they lay them, they roll out clean, and the chickens don't eat their own eggs. Anyway, I don't have any stock in Best Nest, but they're great.
So Best Nest, you should be a sponsor for the Provident Preppers if you're watching this live stream. We're giving some plugs here. This is from Prepper Book Club. We raised 2 turkeys for Thanksgiving one year that were named Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock.
Awesome.
That's awesome. This year, we have some neighbors that they have their chicken coop, and so I did a trade we did some bartering. So I got some fresh chicken eggs, and I have them stored now in a mason jar with lime salt, or to try to see, because I heard you could preserve it for 12 to 18 months. So in 18 months from now, I'm going to try them out, see if they're still
there. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, I thought it was a little scary, but I see people do it online, so now I'm curious if I could do it.
Just because somebody else does something online doesn't mean
it might be a great idea, and it might work really well. So
I'm going to try freeze drying.
We'll want to report.
Yeah, there'll be a video in the year 2000 and early 2022, I guess. So we'll see, if we're still around here. So there's many people raise animals, trade them with other producer. When the animal gets processed, it cuts down on kid trauma. That's
There we
go.
Good idea, Mark.
Yeah, good idea. That's a great idea. Yeah, my free range through. Cool. So this is great. Yeah, when we went into this live stream, he said, okay, let's talk about like introduction. Let's just go from there and go from what the chat room says. So that's where we're going here. So this is from Try Goats and Lamb for thank you for the super chat for 223 caliber. It looks like so.
No, wait. You know why I don't do goats? Because they say, Mom, Mom, Mom. And I can't handle it. I have 11 children. I don't need goats calling me too.
Yeah, that was a problem in Silence of the Lambs too, I think, right? With Clarice.
No.
Let's see. This says Patriot Games. Do you guys have firearms? You seem too nice to get mean. That's funny.
We're not huge firearm proponents, but and we think that's a very individual decision. We do have some firearms. We enjoy shooting them.
I have a concealed carry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the face. If you come to cause harm, you will meet a painful demise, but we would much rather feed you than hurt you.
Yeah, what I like about your preparedness channels, like when you go on let me just bring up the YouTube channel again. Guys, if you're watching this in real time, if you just hopped on, we're talking to Provident Preppers here. And what I like is that a lot of prepping channels, or a lot of channels in this kind of genre, I guess, firearms is a major component of it. But I'm scrolling down here and I don't see anything with regard to firearms because it's just one little aspect. For me, it's one little aspect of preparedness. It's like having a whole channel on screwdrivers or something. It's there's a lot of different things about prepping. For me, I categorize that with tools, and I don't do too many videos on hammers and on saws either. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, we may look nice, but
see this person.
That's our first priority, right? Our first priority is to be Christ-like and to love people and to serve them and to feed them.
But I do have a box of gloves, and if somebody comes to the door and they want some food, you bet, we'll feed you, but here's some gloves. Let's go work in the garden. Let's go work in the yard. Let's, all this takes some work, and I think everybody appreciates it more if they've worked for it. If they can be a part of helping to make the problem better. I think, people will be, at least some people will be very receptive to you bet. Yeah, I'll come out and help. I'll weed the garden. I'll, do some of these things. And
those who aren't willing actually just won't survive long. When things get really bad, there are enough people out there that just aren't going to put up with it.
Yeah,
right?
There's some funny comments coming in right now. Well, first people say people sometimes mistake kindness for weakness, and then this is from Northwest. With 11 kids, that'll be a lot of people shooting at you. This is don't underestimate the nice ones. You never know when someone's going to pull some. I think that's an MMA fighting style and mess you up. Yes, that's true. So there's a rumor about Eileen being an MMA fighter. So.
Yeah, our son is an MMA fighter, by the way.
Sam
had his first match.
Wow, how was it?
Well, actually, quite frankly, I wouldn't go.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time seeing my kids.
So I supported him in his preparing, right? And he's taken karate ever since they were little, right? I mean, we are very much into making sure that we can defend ourselves. And I've taught Rad Kids, which is a children's self-defense program at the elementary school, for years. But I just couldn't do that. And so I still haven't seen the fight. But I took him to the emergency room last night because he put a drill through his hand, right? And he was really funny. He goes, I haven't seen this much blood since my fight. I'm like,
oh,
you guys.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's hard seeing being like a parent and seeing when my daughter, she had a little spill the other day and got kind of a bloody lip, and it's hard to see that. So I don't blame you on that one. So
see, I'm okay with that. I just don't want,
doing it on purpose. Someone's saying that the lime has worked for. They're talking about the eggs. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna keep trying that lime with the eggs. It's a long test. So I
totally don't know anything about the hydrated lime. I'm just thinking that 18-month-old eggs just doesn't sound like something I'm interested in.
Don't let them discourage you. Eggs were preserved for centuries like that. Okay, Provident preppers are really mean. They're just, but we know they have a whole platoon of kids that are marksmen too. So this is raising your own platoon of stormtroopers. #win.
Yes.
This is from Annette. Oops. Let's see. There we go. Annette, sorry. It's okay, Annette. It's okay. We're live now. You made it, Annette. You're live with the Provident Prepper. So if you have a specific question, we've been talking for about almost 55 minutes now. So if you have one, Annette, welcome to the party. And if you have any specific questions, now's the time to do it. Otherwise, you're going to have to watch the rerun, and it won't be in real time. So let's see. We were talking a little bit about this. How's Sam doing with the COVID recovery?
Okay, he's doing just fine, right? He's got his smell and taste back, and he actually was sent home. He was on a mission in Alaska, and when COVID first came out, he was sent home because he has a history of asthma, and because he's had COVID now, he gets to go back. So he's going back in January, and so I think he has a little bit of smell issue,
right?
If I remember right, but
he bounced through it fairly well. I mean, he did experience some discomfort, but it was fairly brief, and he's back to 100%. So
yeah, but
minus a little bit of smell, but
yeah. But Benjamin just tested positive last week, and with Benjamin, he had one day when he just kind of felt crummy, and that's it. No respiratory, no anything like that. And so we didn't think much about it. I thought he was just trying to get out of working, right? But then last Monday, he said that he couldn't smell and taste. So we're like, oh no. So we took him in and got him tested. He tested positive. And so when the health department called, they said that he didn't have to quarantine, that they would start his quarantine and end it, because according to that day when he was sick and the way that he couldn't smell and taste by then, it was already over. So we all went and got tested yesterday just because, okay, well, Ben tested positive, but we're in close proximity with him, right? Mm-hmm. But none of us, we don't know. We don't think, I don't know. But okay. Now we'll know for sure, because I guess you can test positive for 90 days after you get it. So it's possible we may have had it and not realized it.
Interesting.
But we are so careful. Like, we are so careful. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah. So let's see. Well, I'm glad that everyone seems to be feeling okay, and it looks like Ben's recovering. Or Ben's the youngest kid, right? Is that the youngest son?
Yes.
Yeah, he's 14.
14.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see.
So he's going to high school, but they wear masks. But I don't know.
Yeah. Our kids they go to a little private Catholic school, and they have alternating days, and they do masks, and they are in smaller pods, so it's a smaller classroom than normal. But and they've had no cases so far, so which is good.
Oh, that's
great.
Really lucky.
That's good.
This one's from the Prepper Book Club. Let's see. What chicken to person ratio would you recommend for a good supply of eggs?
Depends on if you're a 16-year-old boy or a 50-plus-year-old woman. But quite frankly, I think 2 or 3 eggs a day is a really good, it also depends on, do you have other sources, or are these eggs your only protein source? That also makes a big difference. But at least 2 or 3 a day would be enough to do some survival. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable.
And if you could do more, eggs would be very, very good for bartering. For people who don't have them, who are struggling with protein sources or fresh stuff, eggs would be great.
So if you have a family of 4, how many chickens should they have then? Should they have 12 chickens?
I would go 10 or 12.
Yeah, because they also go through these cycles where they don't lay as much, right? Mm-hmm. Ours have lights, and so like last year they did great, and they laid all through the winter, and they never slowed down. This year they did. We think it was because there was a really mean rooster and a couple guineas in there that were traumatizing them. But you've gotta account for that, because you can't be guaranteed that you're going to get it every time. So
Yeah, let's see. Titan says it says at least 3-1, if not 5-1, because you're going to lose a few. Okay, that's right.
Right. Yeah.
This is a good question that I was hoping to get to. What's the most important you've learned as preppers? That's from D's.
I think the most important thing is that, at least my opinion, is that we can get through anything. You know, no matter what happens, if we're working as a community, if we're doing the best we can, we're going to get through it. And I think that's an important thing for people to understand is, you know, have this optimism that, you know, we can get through whatever happens. I'll let Mama give her opinion.
Yeah, and I totally agree with Jonathan. And I think a piece of it is self-reliance. I think the whole, I need to take care of myself and my family. I can't depend on anybody else. I can't depend on the government. I can't depend on my neighbors. I've got to do everything that I can to be self-reliant. And then actually I'm going to depend on God to make up the difference, right? I'll do my very best and then have faith that everything will work out.
Cool. That's awesome. So awesome answer for D's. I hope you like that one. This one's from Mr. Morris. This is Thaddeus, I think. What vitamins outside of multivitamins are you stocking up on?
So Johnny doesn't take a lot of vitamins, right? But I think we talked a little bit earlier about how I have MS. And so I have a really clean diet. And in addition to that, I have a supplemental regimen that I'm on. So I always take calcium and vitamin D, and I have to take iron, and, you know, I've got turmeric, and I've got all these supplements that I take on a regular basis to help control my MS. And it's interesting because you can tell if I go off my really clean diet or if I'm not taking my supplements, my MS will kick in. And so I have to be really careful. So for me, it's different than for most people, but I would definitely say I would have vitamin D, and I would have zinc, and I would have vitamin C
and a
good multivitamin.
Right.
I think that's where I would get my A.
And if you can garden, you can get a lot of nutrients. And that's, we do eat very well. And so I don't use a lot of supplements because we get a lot of good nutrients from our food. But a lot of times you're missing A and C, and your garden can add a lot of that in. But having those vitamins that she mentioned, and I would have those, just because, you know, if things get lean and tight and you don't have the abundance that we do all the time right now, those would be very important to maintain health.
But you should all start thinking about growing an indoor garden, because I am totally loving mine. We have a few videos out, right? And this just started this year for me, growing this indoor garden, but it is so much fun. And we are producing so much food just in this one little room in our house.
It's a solarium.
It's a nice south-facing room. It's where we have our fireplace, or not our fireplace, but our wood-burning stove. And it's incredible what you can do with a little bit of space and a cheap grow light.
What do you have in the little room that you have that you're growing out so much of?
So I have so much. I have tomatoes and cucumbers and strawberries and all kinds of different greens and herbs. The peppers are amazing. We've got all kinds, sweet peppers and hot peppers, and it's actually a really beautiful little place. I think I need to do another video this week on the progress, but
and that's her happy
amazing.
Place. You know, especially right now, she can't be in the garden. That's where she grounds herself. That's where she finds a lot of joy and peace, is tilling the earth. But now she can do that inside in the indoor garden, and she spends a lot of time out there.
That's awesome. Do you have any kind of special lighting in there for it, or is it all just from the natural light from the solarium?
Yeah, so Jonathan made some inexpensive grow lights for me. There's shop lights that have full spectrum bulbs in them. We're experimenting with the regular fluorescent and with the LED. But part of being on YouTube, people call you and say, "Hey, will you try this out for me?" And I have 3 different grow lights up on the ceiling that we are trying out, and I have offers for 2 more.
Nice.
But I don't really have a place to put them. But another really cool thing, EcoCycle. And they have this thing where you have a fish tank with fish in it, and then you can grow on top of the fish tank, and with a grow light, and it is really cool. So I get one of those in January. So I'm really, really, really excited because I've been worried about aquaponics inside my house just because that's a lot of humidity. It's, you know, when you have carpet, and it can just be really problematic. But a fish tank, I could totally do this. I'm really, really excited.
That's cool. Yeah, my wife has a lot of fish tanks. She has a 150-gallon one and a 72-gallon, and that's really cool. Like indoor hydroponics. I love it. A lot of people are liking your philosophy on prepping and the mental preparedness, positivity, survival attitude. This is from James Davis. Hey, Provident Preppers, thank you for your channel. I've been watching for a long time. You have made me a better prepper.
Oh, yay, James!
Awesome.
And pass that along. Help somebody else become a better prepper too.
Yeah, that's definitely something with having this kind of channel that you've built up, and people benefit from the stuff that you're saying. It really helps motivate you, and you feel a sense of almost responsibility or accountability to keep helping others. It becomes almost as addicting as prepping in itself. So.
It does, and you know what else is that our audience, our viewers are so amazing, and I learn so much from them, like crazy amount from our viewers, and I love the community that has been built up. It makes me just really happy, right? That we've got all these great people out there doing wonderful things.
Yeah, cool.
And teaching me.
We've been talking with we're over an hour now. We've been talking. It's been flying by with the Provident Preppers. I thought before we go, and it looks like someone gave a super chat too. Let me make sure I say hi. Let's see. There we go. This is from Don't Panic. Yes, my wife also has MS, but skipped the last 2 doses because it would wipe out her immune system. How do you deal with that during the COVID spread? That's from Don't Panic.
Oh, her last 2 doses of steroid. So I don't know. So when I am sick, I have to do I have to go to the hospital, and for 3 days I get IV steroids, a treatment that lasts for 3 hours. And I totally understand that, because when you get those steroids, you have no immune system anymore. And so it's really kind of terrifying. So quite frankly, my doctor is doing a great job. She has been willing to let me try a dose of oral steroids for the next time that it happens, to see if perhaps I could take enough orally that we could arrest it and still keep me away from people. When I was in the ER last night with Sam, because of the drill in his hand, they brought in an active COVID patient right next to us, right? And they're all in these suits with the respirator, you know, in back of the hood, and I'm just thinking, oh, this is really bad for me, right? So staying out of the hospital for us with MS, because the immune situation is hard, and I'm sorry she's dealing with that. I hope that her doctor is willing to just let her kind of experiment a little. Mine's been very, very patient with me because I'm kind of non-compliant. It's true.
Cool.
I would testify to that too.
Yeah, best of luck to your wife. Don't panic. So we've been talking with Provident Preppers now. Again, if you're just tuning in now, we're a little late, but it's okay. You're live with us right now. So I have the link in the description box for the Provident Preppers channel. You can go to their YouTube channel. As you can see, they're awesome people. They have an awesome family. They put awesome videos out there, and it's all practical, family-friendly stuff that the whole family's involved in their channel, which is really, really cool. You could also go to their website, which I think I have here, the providentprepper.org. If I can find it again. There we go. And also make sure you get the book. The book's over here. It's only $15. Practical common sense guide to preparing for emergencies. You could also check them out on Instagram, in addition to all over the place. They're all over the web, and they're awesome. So I thought we could kind of wrap this up with how about rapid fire Q&A? So I know that I'm backlogged a little bit on some of the chat room stuff, and so I thought maybe we could do a quick rapid fire round, and then I'll let you guys get to things that you have to do. So here's rapid fire with the Provident Preppers. So this is from Patriot Games. Do you have a guardian dog for the livestock?
No.
Okay. No. Stu Leathers. Even though you don't drink alcohol, do you store any for barter?
So I don't store any for barter, but I make tinctures where you pour the alcohol, like the vodka, over the herbs, and that draws out medicinal properties. So I do have vodka, and we have Everclear that we use for a fuel, a cooking fuel. That could ended up being a barter, but quite frankly, I'd rather barter other things, because if you need alcohol really badly, Maybe you're going to worry me just a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. What are your 2021 goals? That's going to be a hard one for
Yeah. I think we just want to keep helping people. We know we live in challenging times, and based on everything we're seeing, I'm not sure things are, now this may sound pessimistic, but realistically, I'm not sure things are going to get better real fast. And so many people need to be a part of the solution. We have, our philosophy is, in any situation, you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. And if you're not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. And we want people to understand that they can do things, they can help, they can, even if it's only a little bit, you're better off than where you were before. So that's one of my goals, is to just keep encouraging people. Of course, we will keep learning, we will keep growing in our own planning and in our own efforts, but we really want to help more people.
Mine is to triple the size of my garden.
Wow, that's 2021, guys. Stay tuned for the Provident Peppers. Make sure you subscribe. Check that out. The triple the size of the garden. Let's see. Yeah, people are asking.
And the chocolate, yes.
And the chocolate. Yeah, we already agreed that we're going to double the 365 on that one. Looks like people want progress on the indoor gardens, which we'll do. Let's see.
Did you guys see the video that we did on the spider farmer grow light? Because in that video, one of the really cool things about it was we were reviewing the light, but we also took peppers from our garden and we tried them in different ways. So I had some growing in a window, one growing on the floor that didn't get any supplemental light, one under the grow light, and then one under the cheap shop lights. And we compared the growth of all four of those. And I think that was really cool. I think it says Spider Farmer.
Spider Farmer, yeah. There it is.
Yeah, but so that one's really cool, but or grow peppers indoors. I'm sorry, it's the grow peppers, and is that the one? I don't remember. I do so many of them.
This one looks like I see lights here.
Grow peppers indoors. Anyway,
okay. I'm gonna copy it and put it into
this week. So
yeah,
yes,
more coming.
Cool, more coming. So let's see, I included that in the chat room there. This is Prepper Book Club. I really like your channel, just for the positive outlook in your videos. It's refreshing versus all the doom and gloom sometimes we get in Preparedness. So.
Thank you.
Let's see. This is from just a few more questions over here. Then I'll let you guys get going. Do any of your children live in urban areas, and if so, do they practice preparedness?
Yes. We have children. Can I say where they live?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have children that live in the Phoenix area, which actually terrifies us in some ways, especially John, because of the whole water issue. And in the summertime, like, you can't live without electricity because it's so hot there. The city is very densely populated. And yes, they do practice preparedness, nowhere near the level that we do, right? Yeah. But they do a really good job of having things planned out and having their basic supplies. And yeah.
So thank you so much for why not for the super. Thank you, Tup and Provident Preppers. Yeah, well, thank you for watching in real time. This is awesome. This Nisi Tribe is also. This has been a good live stream. Thank you. You're very welcome, Nisi. Thanks for watching it.
Thank you.
Let's see. Thank you for the positive, cheery chat. It's a nice change of pace. Yeah. Prepping is oftentimes it can kind of be a downer on a lot of the topics that we talk about. So it's always refreshing for me, at least, to have fun with it, even though sometimes the topics aren't the funnest.
But let's be optimistic. I mean, let's look to the future with hope and optimism, and that frees us up to do a lot of things. If we're living in fear and we're focused on the negative, it paralyzes in many cases. And so, it's great to be positive and to look to the future and look to the best.
And I look at, our audience, right? The people that are watching this, it's amazing how many like-minded people are out there and how cool that is, right? We just need to all stick together and help each other out and be willing to sacrifice for each other. And we're all going to be just fine, regardless of all this insanity that we're surrounded by.
Yeah. Awesome. Fem Prepper, we're going to get you on the live stream. I think I sent you an email, so let's get you on this. Make sure you guys check out Fem Prepper. That's she's an awesome channel as well. Man, there's so many chats that I wasn't able to get to, but I don't want to have this be take up too much of your time. I think I'll do one final question. Let's see. This is Tup, are you going to do one of their challenges in 2021? Yeah, I would love to try to do a 90-day challenge. That sounds like an awesome. I'd have to talk my wife into it though. That's gonna be the hard part.
That's gonna be the challenge.
We'll see. So we'll do final question with the Provident Preppers, and this is from James. Let's see. Where'd it go? I lost it. Where was it? There is about quail. Do you recommend quail for eggs and meat?
So that is on one of our lists of things to do this year, is because I really, really want quail, but I don't want to raise them in the small cages because my heart breaks when animals are in small cages. So we're trying to design a bigger way that's practical to be able to actually harvest the eggs, because they will produce. And so talk to me about that in 6 months, or watch for a video on it, because it's definitely something that we would like to do. So
big quail fans here.
yeah, they're beautiful. They're, yeah. I just love life, right? I love all the chickens relax me, right? To watch them. And yeah.
Yeah, I found with you guys are very inspirational for me for the gardening, and I found well, I don't have chickens. I do talk to my plants and tomato bushes.
Yes.
I don't know why I started doing that, but I talk to them and ask if they're thirsty and if they're hungry, or if they're feeling well. And then sometimes if they're not doing well, they get yanked, and I put someone else in their place. So it's kind of it's a cutthroat business in the garden over here.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an awesome live stream. It went by way too fast for me, but thank you so much for coming on again. It's always fun talking.
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
And if you're just tuning in now, you're a little bit late, but really quick, go down the description box. There's a link to the Provident Preppers YouTube channel. Just click the link. You're going to like it. You're not going to see it. There's no fire and machine guns or anything like that in here. It's all very family friendly, practical preparedness measures. Also check out their website. The link is in the description box as well, I believe. And you could also, if it's not, go to theprovidentprepper.org, and then also make sure that you pick up their book. They hit the paperbacks available for less than $15 on Amazon with a lot of great information. So this has been a real treat for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this. If you're watching the rerun in the year 2024, we hope that we're okay. We're coming into 2021. We're coming in hard, but we're ready. A lot of us are ready, because we've been prepping for years now, but and the Provident Preppers have been doing it at an elite level compared to most so it's really inspiring on the stuff that you guys are doing, and thank you so much for everything that you do, for not only for your family but for the entire world, for the community, because you're helping so many people. So
awesome. Thank you for all. We love you all.
Just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Awesome. Well, take care, guys. Smash that like button if you like this video, and stay tuned for more videos. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks. See ya.